In our Project Economy tonight, Governor Brown released his budget plan for the next fiscal year. The governor says the state faces a smaller deficit, but still looking at nearly $5 billion in cuts unless voters approve his plan to raise taxes come fall. The governor says the state deficit starting in July will be $9.2 billion. Big, but less than the $26 billion we had last year, if that's any comfort. Action News reporter May Chow breaks it down for us. She's live in our Salinas newsroom, May.
Dan, Governor Brown's plan will balance the budget with a combination of spending cuts and tax increases that he expects voters will pass in November. And he said that his tax proposal includes some very ugly cuts, but ones that are necessary to dig the state out of a nearly $10 billion budget deficit. Governor Brown's tax proposal would generate nearly $7 billion in new tax revenue for the next 5 years. About a quarter of that would go to schools and the rest toward the general fund. This extra revenue is coming from the temporary half-cent hike in state sales tax, as well as increased taxes on the wealthy. But the governor says Sacramento still needs to reduce general fund spending by $4 billion, so he's proposing deeper cuts to the state's welfare program. Nearly $1 billion worth of cuts to CalWORKs and reducing eligibility from 4 years to 2. He'll save $450 million by cutting child care subsidies to 71,000 children and slashing $650 million from Medi-Cal.
We're making some very painful reductions. A mother and kids are getting the same welfare check in real dollars that they got in the 80s. Same for the elderly, the blind, and disabled, the child care cuts. This is not nice stuff, but that's what it takes to balance the budget.
If voters reject the governor's tax plan in November, things would be even worse. Brown wants to include so-called automatic triggers in the budget that would slash school spending by nearly $5 million, university by $400 million, and courts by $125 million. The triggers will also include millions of dollars worth of reductions to park rangers, CAL FIRE, and the state's seasonal lifeguards.
With the tax program, we will eliminate the budget deficit, finally, after years of kicking the can down the road, and we'll begin to pay back the wall of debt. And that's one thing I'm really committed to.
Still a lot to be seen, and obviously this is a controversial tax proposal. On top of these cuts to social services, Governor Brown is also wanting to get rid of a number of mandates to state programs that would loosen the requirements on how schools can spend money, obviously giving more flexibility to school districts. Dan.
All right, thank you very much, May. The governor has to get this budget past lawmakers, and Republicans aren't crazy about it at all. Their response, in part, says that the governor's trigger cuts mask his inability to make tough reform-minded decisions, that the budget lacks innovation, and as far as another tax increase goes, they say there is no reason to believe that a new year will bring any different results.